guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Peace Jones. Don't forget to like this video, to comment on this video, to subscribe to my channel, and to most of all share all of my content, okay? The main reason that I made this channel is to get people into healing, wanting to recover from their traumas, traveling, living their best life, exploring, dating advice, all that. And I really want my content to get out there and reach the people that really can benefit from it, reach the masses, okay? So let's get that done, all right? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So this is another video for my Dating Chronicles segment of my YouTube channel, okay? Now, this is something that has it's thrown me off for quite some time now, okay? And I just really need to address it and speak on it because I don't think that people realize that they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so this topic is things that your non-single friends do not understand about dating in 2021. So whether non-single means married, long-term relationship, some type of situationship, whatever it means, they are not single. They are not on the market. They are not knee deep in this dating game, experiencing what's really going on out here, okay? So I've written down 5 different things and we're gonna touch on these things, okay? All right, got my little notebook. Number 1 is gonna be, you actually don't know as much as you think you do. Ding, 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 ding. This one. Okay, so my thing is, I do have opinions. I'm pretty opinionated, but I try not to speak on things that I literally have no experience with, no clue about, or I just haven't really tapped into it lately, okay? Haven't done enough research lately. And I find that a lot of times we have these friends that haven't dated for 5 years, have been married for 10 years, have been in some type of long-term situationship or relationship for the past 16 years. But yet, they have so much to say and they know so much about what dating is like in 2021. This current day, this present day, this year, last year. Let's even take it back to the last 3 years, okay? Maybe the last time they actively dated, and I'm not talking about, oh, I go on a date every 3 months, or, oh, I went out with 2 guys last year. No, I'm talking about actively dating. Like, you are either super engaged in more than one dating site, you are into the dating apps, you are listening to dating podcasts, you are going on a date at least once a month, you are really out there in the dating streets, okay? Unless that's you and that's been you for the past at least year, sweetie, you don't have the clue that you think you have, okay? This goes for guys and females. Like, I just never understood why someone who's been out of the dating game completely for years would really think that they have any idea what goes on in the dating streets today. It just baffles me. But yes, you do not know as much as you think you do. I know you've dated before. I know when you guys had a split up or a break, you dated and saw one person. I know that you feel like you think you know, but you really don't. Honestly, dating changes, I would say, almost every year. It has changed drastically, even from like 2017 to 2021. COVID, the whole pandemic, that also took a toll on it. Like, you guys just are kind of out of the loop, okay? Number 2, it isn't us, bro. Or it isn't us, sis. This video is for men and women, so I had to say both, okay? There's also those friends that like to think that because they found their significant other, or they've been through their hell, or they have, hit that wall where it's like, damn, I forgot how terrible people can be when dating. All of a sudden, it's like the go-to is like blaming your friend for the issues. The default is to say, oh, I think it's you, Mary. I think it's you, Joe. Well, what if it's not? What if Mary or Joe are 2 very healed, very confident, very eligible, very attractive, and not just physically, candidates for dating? What if half of this world is literally crazy at this point? What if there's a ton of users out here? What if there's a ton of mentally ill people out here? What if there's a ton of liars out here? What if your friend just isn't the one behind their not so good dating life, right? So let's not just use that as a default. I mean, even if you do see concerning things in your friend, and even if you feel like, oh, you're this way in a friendship, or your personality is like this, let's just not assume that it has to be your friend's fault. And I get it. Sometimes you have that friend that's just like way too unrealistic standards all the way through the roof, right? Or you have that friend that does come off a little bit standoffish or a little bit aggressive, but let's just not use that as a default. Like, let's just not normalize thinking that it's just our friend's fault and there's no other reason why they can be experiencing a bad dating life, okay? Number 3, don't rush my timeline, all right? A lot of people, like I said, they get this amnesia, and it's a problem when they can't find their mate. It's a problem when they have struggles. It's a problem when, they're upset or they're lost or they are in a bad place when it comes to dating. But the moment they lock it in, problem? What's that? Terrible candidates to date? What's that? Ghosting? Never heard of it. Manipulative behavior? Liars? Cheaters? What? Scam artists? Abuse? What? And it's just like, sweetie, I'm happy for you. Genuinely 100%. I'm always happy for my friends when they do anything great, right? Especially to be in a nice, healthy, happy relationship. But don't catch amnesia and don't try and rush my timeline just because you are where you are today, right? We've all had our struggles with men and women. I don't care if you are in the happiest, healthiest marriage right now. You've been through it. You've had your heart broken. You've been upset. You've been hurt. You've been broken. So let's normalize not downplaying other people's situations and rushing their timeline and putting them on these, certain timelines to, well, you should be getting married by now. Well, you have been dating for 7 months. I mean, what's going on? I mean, you've been dating since I've known you for 3 years. So, I mean, when you going to find Mr. Right? Don't put people on a timeline, because would you rather see them in a healthy, happy, long-term relationship that they worked and actively dated and actively, pursued good men or good women for 4 years before they found Mr. Right or Mrs. Right? Or would you rather rush them into it because you're in it now and have them with a psychopath that they found in 2 weeks? Okay? Let's not do that. All right, next. We aren't being too picky. It's actually difficult. Okay, once again, I know some of us have those friends where they just have really unrealistic outlooks on things, really unrealistic expectations and standards. They cut people off easily. They don't give people chances. They don't even open up to people. They're not friendly, blah, blah, blah. But all in all, I think that a lot of people aren't too picky when it comes to dating. I think that it's really difficult out here. I mean, the candidates out here sometimes just don't have the necessary characteristics to move forward, right? And that's one thing I've noticed. It's not so much that there's terrible men or women out here. It's just that the things that you can overlook are like minimal, but the things that you can't overlook are in an abundance, right? So this is what I'm finding more so. I'm not seeing so much that there's like now, because I'm actually like looking for potential mates that are within my dating bracket or caliber of woman, right? And so when I'm actively looking for people that would meet what I'm looking for, I'm not finding that they're just total bums or they're just like not qualified or they're just horrible, right? What I'm finding is they have pretty much everything together except for the mental health aspect, the emotional aspect, the interpersonal aspect, the psychological aspect, right? And so it's not so much like, oh, your standards are so high. It's like, okay, well, I found a lawyer that also has his own business and has 3 cars and 6 properties, and he's really handsome. He has no kids. He has a PhD and a law degree. You know, he can cook. I mean, just pulling it out the ass, right? But he's paranoid, and I think he might be suffering from some type of psychosis every time I hang out with him. But he's a mama's boy, and every single time we hang out, his mom walks into the living room and interrupts us Netflix and chilling. Or, yeah, all of this, but he's super controlling. Like, he literally told me he wants me to delete all of my friends' numbers, and I'm not allowed to go out on the weekend unless it's with him. Those are the types of things that you cannot look over. So it's not about being picky. Sometimes your friends don't want to let you know the ins and outs of their dating situations because they know that you're immediately passing judgment. I've literally said things to friends who have inquired about, let's say, Jacob, right? Oh, I know you and Jacob were like really having a good time together. I know you guys were dating for a few months. How did that go? Y'all dated all summer. Like, what happened to that? And it's like, oh, you know, he wasn't quite there. Then what do you get? An eye roll. Oh, you're just so picky. Meanwhile, you're not knowing that Jacob has literally smacked me in the face. Jacob has come to my house and stolen things. Jacob has forced me to pay for the last 3 meals when we went out. Jacob is a chronic alcoholic. You know, all these things that I just choose not to tell you about Jacob. But the first thing you assume is that I'm being too picky. Well, you don't even know the story. And don't do that to people. I just feel like that's very inconsiderate, very judgmental. And it almost shows the lack of, like, I guess, emotional intelligence that you have, because people don't always disclose what goes on behind closed doors. Honestly, sometimes to salvage the other person's image. If I know you love Jacob, all my friends got along with him, everyone thought he was a cool person, do you think that I would really want to come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, Jacob is a chronic alcoholic, he literally does this, this, and this, just expose everything negative about him? No, that's not something you would want to do. And as a mature adult, that's really just not something you would want to do. And so to have a friend that you feel like you should be safe with, you feel like you should be able to vent to, the first reaction they have every time they find out something doesn't work out is an eye roll, a sigh, oh my gosh, it was you. Like, no, don't do that to your friends, okay? And last but not least, a date doesn't equate to a relationship. So you guys, you know the check-in, right? You go on a date, the next day your homegirls or your homeboys check in. You've been dating somebody for a while, a few months later, your friends check in. Maybe you went to their house for a holiday. Maybe y'all took a little weekend trip. You get the check-in, right? Now, I want you guys to understand this. Dating can literally go from a streak of dates. Like, I'm talking about fun dates, amusement parks, a little weekend trip, nice dinners, a picnic, sipping paints, festivals, museums, you name it, to literally never hearing from that person again. Okay? So when you guys do those check-ins and you're looking for, the engagement announcement, the wedding announcement, the we locked it in announcement, just know that that's not always going to be the case. Don't get too disappointed, because I am one who has experienced that, where it's going amazing. I mean, like I've said in previous videos, I've met a lot of parents, I've met a lot of families very early on, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. I've gone places, I've had nice dinners paid for, I have been invited on trips, I have had nice gifts, really nice, expensive things bought for me. All the above, all the attention, all the love, all the time. And this person just doesn't follow through. After a few weeks, you don't hear from them. After a few months, you don't hear from them. Things like that. And so when you all do that check-in as non-single friends, don't always expect to get a Disney fairy tale ending, because a lot of times, I don't know whether it's people not wanting to commit, I don't know whether it's people using you and getting what they want and then going about their business, I don't know whether it's people having a lonely moment and just thinking you were super cool to hang out with, but a lot of times these dating situations just don't end in a relationship. And it's not your friend's fault. It's not that your friend is giving it up too easy, or for guys that they're being too pushy or not respecting the woman, or they were being too cheap and not wanting to take them out on the dates that they deserved, or whatever it may be. In your mind, a lot of times it's the other person's issue. When you date, you really don't know what the other person has going on, and I can't stress this enough. So please, guys, stop looking for Cinderella's wedding invitation when you guys check in, okay? So that sums up the things that your non-single friends do not understand when dating in 2021. You guys continue to go forth in peace. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Peace.